What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best Chaos Lich wich build in Path of Exile 2. This setup is structured around using Contagion in combination with other Chaos skills that will curse and explode enemies in very wide area. Overall, our main spammable skills have quite high mana cost to make it efficient, and that's why we are going to be using a wand like the Life Spring, which leeches percentage of max life when you cast spells. And on top of this, we can also use Asterisk Accuracy Gloves to get instant leech from our critical hits, so then this combination would completely remove the mana from equation and give us the ability to infinitely spam chaos skills and do massive amounts of damage without worrying about anything. The main gameplay idea behind our setup is to one-shot most enemies, and as they will die, they will continuously replenish our life and energy shield. However, for bosses, we will need to be careful, as not getting stun locked is our main priority, and that's why we will use a specific setup, such as putting Despair in our multiple skill slot and much more. Also, if you're interested in buying other PC or console games with 50 or 70% discount, then check out Instant Gaming. For example, I want to buy Elden Ring, so we just click on Add to Cart, then click Pay, then input our details and pay. After payment is complete, we will receive activation key, then copy and paste the key in, and it's that simple. So, what are you waiting for? Click my link description and check out Instant Gaming for yourself. So let me show you the build, and for the main class we are going with the Witch and our Ascendancy is Lich. Then for the first skill we have Contagion with Unleash and Magnified Effect. Then second we got the Withering Presence with Persistence. Then next we got Essence Drain with Pierce, Swift Affliction and Profanity. Next we have Despair with Decaying Hex and Heightened Curse. Then for the next one we have Blasphemy with the Hex Bloom, Despair and Ritualistic Curse. Then next we got the Frost Bomb with Fast Forward and Spell Cascade. And finally, we're using Shield Charge with the Martial Tempo. Most of this setup is structured around using Contagion with the Essence Drain to delete enemies in split seconds, so we use gems and skills that will support and increase their duration, size and damage, while the rest are powerful buffs and utility skills that usually get activated in the background. Next, we also have a leveling build in case if you're watching this video when starting your journey from level 1 and you want to use it up until about level 25. So first off we have the Frost Bomb with the Fast Forward and Spell Cascade. Then next we have Contagion with the Unleash and Magnified Effect. Next we got the Shield Charge with the Martial Tempo. Next up we have Withering Presence with Persistence. And finally we're using Essence Drain with the Pierce and Swift Affliction. Next up we have our passive tree, and if you're interested in a full in-depth guide on how it works, then check out my beginner guide. So let's take a look at our setup, and we want to start the spell and minion damage node, and then go like this while taking these three, so Open Mind, Raw Destruction and Practice Signs. Then next we keep on going to the left and get everything until the spiral into Insanity. Then from here we circle back a little and keep on going until we get Entropy, and then take right. Then when we are here we want to get all of these, so first up take the top side and then the bottom side, and then again keep on going until we get to the actual end and then take right. And when we get to here then get both of these, so Dark Entries and the Patient Barrier. And now finally from here we can go down and get this whole left side, but usually at this point you can unlock the rest of the nodes in whatever order you prefer. All of these nodes that we got are very useful, but the ones I mentioned have the top priority, as they're the most important ones to acquire early on in the game to make our build functional, and then later on the priority won't really matter that much. Also, as far as attributes go, you just simply won't fulfill your attribute requirements for gear and gems, and then after that spend the rest in intelligence. And then now let's go all the way to the middle again, and for Ascendancy build, this is what we have. So at the beginning you want to unlock the Soulless form. This offers substantial benefits. It will require careful balancing of life and energy shield values, and investing in energy shield is crucial, as it serves as a buffer that prevents life loss. However, if your energy shield is depleted, the bypass damage will affect your life, which makes it essential to manage both resources effectively. Then second we want the Eternal Life. When we combine this with the Soulless form, it will provide a robust defensive layer by ensuring that your life remains unchanged as long as you have energy shield remaining. You will be able to take damage without compromising your life. Then third we want the Necromantic Condient. To effectively utilize this node, we need to invest into mana regeneration and max mana, and this will ensure that mana drain does not hinder our overall performance. If done properly, this setup can significantly increase our damage and give this one-shot AoE potential. And lastly we got Blackened Heart. Because of our already higher maximum mana, this will not only enhance the Unholy Might buff, but also support the other Lich mechanics that scale with it. By using this 4-node combo, we will do insane damage, but a significant mana drain could become an issue, and that's why you need to follow the specific gear setup. On top of this, we can also use Jewels, and my top 2 recommendations for the starters are increased critical hit chance and increased overall spell damage, but many other can work as well, so pretty much anything that increases duration and damage for our chaos skills is the ones to go with. Next up we have our Atlas tree, and the general idea behind this is to aim for bonus passives that spawn a lot of grouped up monsters, like in expeditions or in rituals. So when we start, we wanna first of all go to the left side and get all of these nodes, until the seasonal blessing, then circle back a little and keep on going until the high road. But of course on your way get the ecological shift, and then lastly go all the way to the middle and then get these top nodes. But then on top of this we also have sub-passives, and their order in which you unlock them doesn't really matter, so this time it's up to you. And this is how it should look like for the ritual. Then next we have Delirium, then third we have bosses, then on top of that we have the pinnacle bosses, then next we also have our expedition setup, and then finally our breach setup. Next we have our gear. The weapon of our choice is the Lifespring wand with the mana drain, max mana, increased cast speed, and the ability to leech percentage of max life whenever we cast a spell. You of course don't have to use this specific weapon if you can afford it, so in any case try to look for something similar. Then also we got an offhand called the Antler Focus with energy shield, reduced attribute requirements, and more levels of all spell skills. Then for helmet we have the Jungle Tiara with energy shield, max life, max energy shield, and more to fire resistance. Then for chest we have the Anchorite Garb with evasion and energy shield. Then also more spirit, max life, and cold resistance. Then for belt we have the Rawhide belt with increased life flask recovery, max life, and fire and lightning resistance. Then for gloves we got the Torn gloves with energy shield, max life, and chaos resistance. Then for boots we are using the silk slippers with energy shield, increased movement speed, max mana, max life, and lightning resistance. Then for our first ring we got the sapphire ring with cold resistance, max life, more to intelligence, and more to cold resistance. While for the second one we have the ruby ring with more to fire resistance, max mana, max life, and lightning resistance. And then finally for amulet we have the solar amulet with more to spirit, max life, and chaos resistance. No matter which gear you choose, just at least try to get 75% resistance cap on all 4 elements. This is the best case scenario setup, which should be more of an example of what stats and prefixes to look for. Then next we have runes. During early item progression, most gear should be sacred with resistant runes. However, once your elemental resistances have been capped and resistant runes are no longer necessary, then you want to opt in to increase your maximum life with body runes or consider sacting a soul core. So right now the only runes I'm using is on my chest, and they are the lesser glacial rune. Then on top of this we need to quickly look into the charms. Charms are incredibly useful, as by having the right one equipped at the right time can save you from dying. If you are struggling with certain bosses, then look into what damage type they are using and then use that specific charm to increase your resistance. For me personally, I like to use the stone charm for stuns. Then second, get the Taving charm for when we become frozen. And then finally, we want the Amethyst charm for chaos damage. But as I said, which one you choose will entirely depend on the enemies that you are fighting. So feel free to experiment and mix and match. Another important decision is Anointment, so here we got 2 choices. Either way go with the Relentless Vindicator, which increases critical hit chance and increases our overall damage, which is super powerful, or then perhaps our second option is the Vulgar method, that increases critical hit chance but reduces max mana, so only use it if you don't run into any mana problem. And now finally, let's quickly take a look at how this build will work. The core damage of our setup is Chaos, which we can use to deal devastation through toxic and cursed spells. You will need to focus on skills that deal chaos damage over time, such as the Essence Chain, Contagion, and the Malice Burst. And then for defense, we will rely on Energy Shield, so you'll use Life Leech to convert chaos damage into healing, which will allow you to stay alive during tough encounters. So we want to start fights by casting Essence Chain that spreads chaos damage over area, which applies a debuff that makes enemies explode on death, causing AoV damage to nearby enemies as well. We want to maximize its potential by scaling up damage and AoV efficiency. Then also we could use Malice Burst, which is a powerful burst of chaos energy that can be used to hit multiple enemies at once, and it is perfect for clearing large groups of enemies quickly. And then finally we can finish it off with the Contagion, that spreads chaos damage over time to the enemies, and it's perfect for applying chaos damage debuffs to the enemies before they die, which triggers cascading explosions. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you don't want to miss my top 3 best new builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.